Hello ladies and gentlemen, once again this is Jeremy Smith. A few days ago I posted a video giving some of my initial thoughts about Nikon's new D850 and what I didn't tell you guys during that video is that I thought that I might get my hands on the D850 kind of like I did with the D5 and D500. I gave you guys that sort of preview video and I was thinking that I might be able to do the same thing with the 850, but I didn't mention it because frankly I didn't think it was going to work out this time. But to my amazement and surprise, I actually was able to get my hands on the 850. And so I'm not going to hold you guys a whole long time here. Basically, I'm going to just go ahead and show you the video from my hands-on experience. I went over the specs in the last video, so if you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. But in this video, I wanted to kind of show you guys my sort of physical impression of the camera, you know, how it felt and so forth. Unfortunately, as the normal protocol always dictates, I was not able to, take any images with the camera and actually keep them. Although when I got up this morning, I noticed that there's a lot of people out there that have obviously broken the rules, thankfully. And they went ahead and posted lots of images. So there are some sample images floating around on the web right now from the D850. But in my case, I will be waiting until I get a production model in my hands. But I'm not going to hold you guys long. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the video that I shot at the event, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, so I didn't want to get you sort of hyped up in the previous video. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get my hands on the 850 at this time, but as you can see, here's the 850 and it is in my hands. Now, I learned some more specs and I'm going to hit you with those in a little bit, but I really want to focus on how this camera is physically right now. And so, earlier I mentioned to you guys that I was a little disappointed that on paper the 850 weighs more than the 810. However, because of the change in ergonomics, I'm pleased to announce that it doesn't really feel any heavier. And yeah, the reason why I think it's heavier on paper is because of the larger viewfinder. And as a glasses wearer, I am also happy to say that that viewfinder is absolutely beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. It's excellent. I have a fellow glasses wearer over my shoulder right now, and yeah, she's like giving me the thumbs up like it's awesome, and I agree. Compared to the 800, which I currently own, which is her right here, you'll notice that we have that much, much deeper grip here on the 850. So in hand, you guys will notice that, it's kind of shallow there. Kind of shallow. Over on the 850, much, much deeper grip. Very, very nice feeling in hand. I really, really like the way this feels. And, no built-in flash, as I mentioned, means that we have that large viewfinder. This camera does support Nikon CLS over radio. So if you get Nikon's little wireless adapter thingy, and you get something like the SP5000, you can use CLS with radio frequency and not even have to worry about using a built-in flash to trigger external speed lights. We also have our focus joystick up here now, which is nice, and we also have our tilty screen, which is a touch screen. This is basically the same thing as on the D500. I won't bore you guys talking about the ports. They're basically just like the D810, so it's no change there. Few things on this camera added. Live view has some new tricks up its sleeve. When in live view mode, you can actually go into this completely silent shooting mode. And unfortunately, there's no manual right now for me, so I'm not really sure what the difference is between silent mode 1 and mode 2. So I'll have to kind of do some testing. But basically, you can do up to like 6 frames a second, I believe, when in this mode. And you can see it's very Sony A7R2. We'll have to see how the banding is, but yeah, you can see that it's completely silent. So we can focus and we can shoot completely silently here. So it's pretty freaking awesome actually. The other thing that's nice is that we have some different RAW sizes. People are concerned about it being 45 megapixels. You can go in, even in RAW though, you can go into your image size and you can go from RAW large, which is 45 megapixels, you can drop it down to 25.6 or even 11.4, so very, very nice there. So all in all, I would say Nikon did good with that. As far as our movie settings are concerned, we can actually go all the way up to 4K now. And as I mentioned before, this camera does do full sensor readout when shooting 4K. So I'll have to test this and see how it does in practice, but it looks really, really good. So far, I can't post any samples at this time because yeah, Nikon, they'd be very unhappy with me. But anyways, that's basically how that goes. I'm going to show you guys or tell you guys some other specs that I learned about this camera today, but I'll kind of give you guys that in the later part of the video, and I will kind of go from there. Oh yes, one other thing too, and I actually have a shot of this earlier too that I can show you guys, but this camera has the illuminated buttons now, which you can't see them now, but anyways, I shot a little bit of a video behind the scenes earlier, and that's very, very impressive too. So being able to do that in low light conditions help. Other ergonomic changes, ISO button is up here on top, like on the D500 as well, so that's something that I like. Although I admit it takes a little time to get used to, but when you have this up to your eye, being able to turn this, very, very nice indeed. So all in all, I would say this is very good. I would have liked to see something else other than SnapBridge on this camera, but it does still use the same Wi-Fi and Bluetooth in combination with SnapBridge. Maybe, if we're lucky, we'll see Nikon come out with a newer version of SnapBridge that offers a little more functionality. I'd love to see that. But I'm just going to cross my fingers on that, guys, so we'll see. Okay, so what additional specs did I learn? Well, the main thing that I learned is that, I noticed that this camera has the ability to do some in-camera focus stacking. I wasn't really clear on how that worked. So after talking with Nikon, it seems as though the camera actually adjusts the focus for you between every single image. Now, the thing it doesn't do is, and this is something that I was kind of wondering about, but the thing it doesn't do is it doesn't actually stitch the images together. As it moves the focus and takes the shots, it actually puts all these shots for the focus stack in their own folder, and it names them and everything, so that way you know exactly what's what, and it puts them in their own folder, but it does not go ahead and combine in camera. So you still have to use, additional software to combine all the shots. So that's something that I learned. The other thing that I learned is that the camera basically does the same thing with its whole 8K time-lapse feature. It's not making a time-lapse video in the camera that's 8K. It's essentially capturing these stills and putting them in their own folder, so that way they're ready to be imported into software, so you can handle that process later on. Now, with the 4K time-lapse, it actually does make a 4K video sequence. So just some clarity on that. I learned a little bit about the silent shooting. I showed you guys how that worked briefly in the video. I still haven't gotten a whole lot of clarity about what the two different silent shooting modes are in the viewfinder. Sorry, not in viewfinder, but in the live view. There's a mode 1 and a mode 2. I know that we'll be getting more clarity about that as well. And the other thing I learned about the focus peaking. Now, I already knew that focus peaking does not work in 4K. And of course, I hate to come across like a pessimist, guys, and I'm really not, but everyone was going nuts over the camera. They're like, man, this is awesome, this is awesome. And I was just like that one little sort of know-it-all guy, and I was like, so tell me why this thing cannot do focus peaking in 4K. And the consensus is basically that it's just processing power. It seems as though the camera is limited by its processing. I don't know, I guess Nikon didn't buy that part from Sony. Anyways, sorry. But no, all jokes aside, apparently it's a processor limitation. I guess I'll have to go ahead and, obviously I'll do some more testing whenever I get this in my hands. And all the other specs, you know, the 45 megapixels and so forth we've gone over. This camera can do, let's see here, it still has that quiet mode that's used whenever you're using the viewfinder. That's pretty useless, honestly. But yeah, that completely silent mode does work at up to 6 frames per second. That seems to be very, very nice. The other thing I noticed was some of the different file sizes that I just showed you guys in the previous video. The other thing too that I learned was the buffer performance, and I didn't really shoot it in continuous any. And you guys know I'm not that type of photographer. I mean, they could have told me this thing was capable of 4 frames a second, and I would have been extremely happy. But I'm even happier though with 7, not necessarily for my personal use, but because I see that this camera is extremely, extremely versatile. If you have like a D750 and a D500 right now, you could basically replace both those cameras with this one camera. And actually, I know a lot of people. I have at least 3 other photographers I know that are doing that, and a couple of them have already sold their D500. So, anyways, if you need a D500, let me know, because I know a lot of people selling them right now. Anyways, obviously we're going to do more testing. This is not meant to be a review video by any means. Write me in the comments below. Let me know what type of testing you'd like to see me do. I have been trying to reach a couple of models right now because I want to do like this really cool sort of beauty, fashion inspired type of shoot where I know the camera's resolution would be welcomed. And but aside from that, let me know what else you guys would like to see. And I always appreciate your feedback. Follow me on social media if you don't already, because on social media is where I oftentimes post different updates about things, because I can't make YouTube videos quite as fast. I am still known by Photog J the Great. Man, I'm so tired. I don't even have anything witty to say in response to that. But yes, I am Photog J the Great, so follow me on social media. Don't forget to subscribe, because there definitely will be some more videos about this camera in the future. Click on that little bell icon, so that way you see all the updates that I post, and we will definitely be doing more D850 testing soon. Until next time, guys, this is Jeremy Smith, signing off.